Okay, guys, this is the bucket list, the Lady Fella edition.
I'm from the city is new. I'm from the city is new.
Okay, guys, these are in no particular order, but I do have to say, number one on the list is, of course, Australia. Some cool facts about Australia. It has the coolest Great Barrier Reef, the largest coral reef. You could see the thing from space. Yes, half the reason why I want to go see it. And by the way, I want to learn how to scuba dive before I go so I could scuba dive in it. It has a lot of venomous spiders.
Oh no!
It's super weird because it's actually part of the UK. So the current King of England is the head of state of Australia. It has the biggest cattle station, biggest exporter of wool. Okay, and the Aussies invented cool things like the black box, drills, car radios, and contacts. So it also has the longest fence. It's over 3,000 miles long. It's called the dingo fence, and dingoes are super wild, weird dogs. It is one of the biggest countries in the world, and I also want to see the Sydney Opera House. And I'm totally excited because I am going to Australia in January of next year. So, this is the flag. Totally is half of a British flag. And minimals.
Wow!
So, platypus, yes. They're super weird and super cool. And a group of my friends named ourselves the platypus. So, koalas, they're not bears. They have wombats, and yes, it is an actual fact that they have square-shaped poop.
Whoa.
They have the kangaroo. Mr. Anthony wants to rub its belly. And, of course, the dingo, which is the biggest carnivore in Australia. Okay, next on the list, guys, is the Eiffel Tower. This is in Paris, France. It celebrated the 100th anniversary of the French Revolution. It's over 1,000 feet tall. It makes up 400 feet on the ground and is actually made of iron. There's actually only 3 floors. So there's this first floor here, the second floor here, and then the very, very top level. And there's actually no elevator. Or there's only an elevator between these two. You cannot walk it, which I thought you could. So, kind of sad, but I will go see it and climb to at least the second story. And next on the list is the Hawaiian Islands. So, I have been to Oahu, which has Pearl Harbor, and the North Shore. I have been to Maui, which has some amazing snorkeling, especially in January, when the humpback whales migrate. And the next 2 on my list actually are Big Island and Kauai. Kauai is supposed to be gorgeous. But also, the Big Island of Hawaii has the national park, which, yes, is a place I want to go to and check off my list. So, next on the list, all 6
Wow.
Disney parks. There's actually 6 resorts, 12 parks, over, let's see, the US, England, or Europe, and Asia. So 3 continents, which is super cool. And currently I've only been to 2 resorts and 6 of the parks. Been to California and Florida. So let's make the other 4 happen. Next on the list is the 7 Wonders of the World. I have currently only been to 1 of these. A couple of them are definitely on my list. the 7 wonders of the world. A couple of these are definitely on my list. One I've actually been to, which is the Colosseum in Italy. It was actually a lot smaller than I anticipated, but still super, super cool to see. And yes, that is me in front of the Colosseum. Christ the Redeemer in Brazil, Machu Picchu in Peru, and the Great Wall of China. Fun fact, I always wanted to do a marathon on the Great Wall of China. I don't know if they still have one, but it would be kind of cool. So next on my list is Paul's missionary journeys. Being a Christian, this has great spiritual significance to me. And I think it would be really cool to take a tour of his missionary journeys. I went to Israel a couple of years back, and it was amazing just to see where Christ actually walked and lived and traveled to, and it was more significant than I could even explain. And I think this one would be amazing as well. So next on the list, totally US of A. Route 66. It goes from Chicago, Illinois to Santa Monica, California. So, fun fact, I have actually been to either end of this because I've been to Chicago and actually taken a picture at that sign. And also, Santa Monica Pier also has a Route 66 memento, which I've taken a picture at. And I have been on parts of this, but I think it would be cool to actually take all of Route 66. It goes through a lot of states, so one of these days. Okay, this is going to be a gigantic one. All of the national parks. It spans 30 states, and there are a total of 63 parks. So all of them that are crossed out right now, I've actually been to. The Grand Canyon, Sequoia, Yosemite, Haleakala in Hawaii, which is actually on Maui. The Gateway Arch, which I actually haven't been up to, but I have been near it, so I actually counted it. The Great Smoky Mountains. Crater Lake was amazing. The blue of that water is phenomenal. And then last time I went to Zion, fun fact, Zion, Arches, and Bryce are all within an hour of each other. So it was really easy to go take a day trip and go see Arches and Bryce. When I lived in Washington, I was able to finally, took me 3 times to go see Mount Rainier and go up on it. But finally did it, and also Olympic National Park. So there are a lot that I have yet to do, but bucket list. Okay, and that is a picture of actually where all of them are. They actually span a decent amount of the US. They do a lot of them central here, California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona area, and West Coast, but there's a lot more in Alaska than I would have thought. All of these are in Alaska, which is super weird. Okay, so what's next? So that's actually all of the official, but bonus, as part of Grand Canyon, which I've been to, on one rim is the glass bridge that you could actually look down into the mile-deep Grand Canyon. Sounds super scary, but super cool. Also, go see the Rockettes at the Radio City Music Hall. Yes, and I want to be that crazy person and go to Times Square on New Year's Eve and watch the ball drop and freeze. But I don't know. It's always been a random dream of mine. Also, go to Venice, Italy, and go on a romantical canal ride. Go to the Olympics. I know they're coming back to LA, so hopefully maybe I can make that happen this time. Martha's Vineyard in Maine. I believe it's in Maine. I should figure this out. It's just such an iconic place, a bunch of rich people. It's supposed to be gorgeous beaches and kind of the iconic place to summer. So I think it would be really cool. Go have lobster in Maine, of course. Go to the Kentucky Derby. And yes, wear a fanciful hat.
Wow!
Also, visit the Four Corners, and I will put, of course, one limb in each state of Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. I would like to go to Notre Dame in Paris, the Edinburgh Castle in Ireland, the Louvre Museum, and the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So, kind of spans kind of everywhere. A lot of Europe and a lot of the US, but that is my bucket list, guys. Hope you enjoyed.